Good afternoon, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 24th, 2009, just a couple days away from Turkey Day and about 3 days away from seeing that northwest swell that's going to be hitting our coast. Wanted to show you everything that's going on with the models to bring that all together. We're also going to be seeing a shift in conditions. Seeing some strong winds right now up here in Ventura County. We're seeing some gusts up and around Oxnard at 30 miles an hour, stronger inland. Not so strong down in Southern California, but I wanted to show you why that's all happening, what that also means for the shift in winds toward the end of the week, and what could also be a very brutal wind event that could creep up after this northwest swell starts to back down. So I wanted to show you everything that's going on, so this is what's happening right now. Take a look at today's wave analysis model. We can see what's happening. We do have that storm sitting just about 1,600 nautical miles away from Southern California, and it's got just about 30-foot seas in its peak. That's that little area purple in the center of that. It is riding at a little bit of a higher latitude than what models were saying it would be, so it looks like that's going to be coming in more from about 295 degrees instead of about the 285-degree angle predicted a couple days ago. Moving the models forward in time, we can see the trajectory on that starting to move up into the Gulf of Alaska, away from our area, so that's kind of nice. It'll be throwing most of its weather then up far toward the north and not throwing as much down toward our area, although swell will be headed our way. When we finally look at the final destination of this here in just a few days, out around the 60-plus hour models, we can see it's high up in the Gulf of Alaska. Little though something forming up around the Aleutians, although we're not expecting that to really bring us much because the jet stream is going to have quite an influence on keeping storms to the north. Take a look at this model of the jet stream. We can see that it's riding at still a fairly low latitude out in the mid-Pacific region above Hawaii. Still, though, a little bit farther to the north than was predicted a couple days ago. We can see also that there's quite a bend in the jet stream. Once we get off the coast, the west coast of the United States, that's from high pressure that's over our area, that strong high pressure that's been bringing the Santa Ana wind event, and that looks to be persistent for a while. So this looks to be the storm track, at least for the near term, with not that much change, really, at least for the next week or so. So taking all this into account, this is how it's all breaking down. This is what the wave charts are showing right now. We do have some northwest swell hitting us today on the 24th. Not a whole lot over the next couple of days. A little swath of ground swell coming through. But you can see the big jump up then once we hit the end of the week, the Friday the 27th into Saturday the 28th. This is looking at one of the best case scenarios off of some of the Wavecast forecasts over at wavecast.com. And maybe just a little bit overstated as this would be for standout west-facing breaks. Still looking though at surf in Southern California hitting definitely well overhead when this swell does come in. Could be quite consistent as well. Double overhead's a possibility, but I'm not going to call that right now. My call right now is for most of the west-facing breaks to see head-high surf to 2 feet overhead on all the sets, and then for standouts to see stuff about 3 feet overhead then on Friday and Saturday, diminishing on Sunday. Taking a look at the conditions, we can see that Santa Ana is definitely blowing a lot stronger up and around Ventura County, which is typical for this type of east-northeast wind event as it gets funneled through the mountains and the canyons of Southern California. We see where Santa Barbara is located in relationship to San Diego and how everything in between, the varying degrees of wind. Still some very strong offshore winds. That's that area of green that's sitting off the Ventura and LA County coast. We see that's still going to be persisting over the next few days as the other areas of Southern California still experience offshore winds, but not to the degree that they will be experiencing up and around Ventura County. We can see how this is all coming together by taking a look at the weather models. This is a look at the relative vorticity model generated by FNMOC. High pressure in blue well over the America West and a good portion of the northern Pacific as well. And we can see how that high pressure would have an influence on the jet stream. We can see that low pressure system up in the Gulf generating, of course, the swell headed our way. That's associated with that anyways. And, of course, the jet stream is keeping that high to the north. Once we start moving the models forward in time, we can see how that high pressure wants to stay dominant. Here we go about 12 hours forward in time. We can see high pressure still over the area, though a trough will start moving toward our area from that area of low pressure. So ridge will start flattening down, high pressure moving off to the east, troughing more coming into our area, but not really swinging through our area. So it looks like we're going to see some fairly good conditions come our way Friday with the winds calming, though we'll have an onshore flow. Then look what happens here once we get into the Sunday time frame. High pressure moves in as a low starts, also diving down toward our area, retrograding as it would. And then once we get into Sunday into Monday time frame, that's when that cutoff low retrograding back over our area could be right around Southern California. Very strong high pressure then to the north could bring in some very strong wind gradients to our area. This would be possibly a strong wind event, although this is based on extreme long-range models, but take a look at one of the wind models off FNMOC. Just looking at the surface winds, those wind barbs are showing us that we could easily get 20-knot winds early in the morning around Sunday, Monday time frame. So got to see how this all plays out though over the next couple days. So that's how things are breaking down right now. Looks like that swell will be hitting us then on Friday. Conditions shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't have a Santa Ana blowing then. We will be seeing somewhat of an onshore flow. Looks like wave size right now is going to be head high to a couple feet overhead at most west-facing breaks on most of the sets. Looks like standouts could see stuff a few feet overhead. Some of the models show it could be double overhead. I'm not going to make that kind of a call right now. And I'm going to stick to the more conservative head high to a couple feet overhead for most west-facing breaks. South-facing breaks should pick up some wrap, but bear in mind, it's going to be angled from 295 degrees, so it's going to be more of a northwest instead of a west-northwest swell, so there will be less energy then at direct south-facing spots. Looks like we could then see a stronger wind event move in on Saturday into Sunday, so it's a little bit tricky. Looks like, though, Friday when the swell does first arrive, the winds should be manageable for the morning sessions. But that's it for now. I'll be keeping you posted. I'll be keeping an eye on it. If you want to always check out my wavecast.com site, get updates 24 hours, 7 days a week, and if you want to be updated twice a day on what's breaking in Southern California, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/wavecast. So until next time, take care, be safe, and smile in the lineup.